AV Productions.
Welcome to Next Realm, where we are the next real music, the next real message, and we are the next real movement. You're sitting here with my man Ingvar, my best engineer, my best protege, my apprentice. He is the best thing closest to me. I am AV, audio video, co-founder of the Next Realm. We are here to talk about some real things, and hopefully you can get some real messages and we can change how this music is and get you some real music. Okay? But first I want to talk to the artist before I talk to the listeners. Ing, is anything you want to say to the artist that you think has really just been lacking and they can step up on?
I think people need to slow down. I think we very much want to always just put out the next thing real quick and just get content out there, and I think it causes some people to rush. They want to just quickly press submit and press release and get the quick dopamine rush of, hey, I put something out, I created something, and that's beautiful, creating art. But you're having people come into the studio and they haven't even selected the beat. They select the beat on the Uber ride over, and whatever they say on top of it on record number 1 or 2 is what's going to be out there, and that's out there. And that's something, but we're having too much of that. We're being very saturated, and I know everyone loves to talk about oversaturation, but I think we just need to slow down. People need to take time with their releases and craft something that I should be taking the time out of my day to look on my Spotify for.
I agree with you, but even if somebody uses that method, I don't think you should do it. You should release it or submit it the same night you made it, because you might have some other better things that you fluked on. You know, when you came onto the studio and your Uber ride and you found the beat that you wanted, and you might have found a better hit that was worthy of the attention you want to really drive traffic to, versus oversaturating with every little good song, which is every new song that an artist does. They feel good about it. They can't wait for the dopamines when their homeboys or their circle says it's hard, or click like, or let's re-rapping some lyrics on something that's really not going viral anyway. But you never really gave it the attention that it deserves. You know what I mean? So I agree with you on that. We all getting oversaturated with songs that are successful, but the artist can't follow up with another one quick enough.
That's been a thing since the beginning of time. Like one-hit wonders from the 70s, you constantly find their records popping up in thrift stores. You never realize how much of that. You only hear about the ones that made it through those decades. It makes you think what from the 2000s. We're just now seeing like who survived from the early 2000s, who is still big. Eventually we're going to see in the 2010s who survived from there. If we get end of the 2020s, who's still relevant from there.
Well, talking about relevancy, what I'm worried about right now is Young Thug.
It's quite the predicament.
I don't want people to forget about him. Hopefully he could be the last sacrifice of an artist that has to do real life time for, real life events that was put into music in the real world. So I would like to put a real message out there that what we say as entertainers, we have to hold accountability on what we're saying, especially if you want to make it a niche where I'm a gangster rapper and I'm branding this as real. It's okay for you to do that for certain artists, certain circles, certain spectrums. There should be a certain caliber of breed of artist that has a story that can be told, like 50 Cent. But the expectation for the industry to think every artist has to live a lavish life and be able to paint the picture for you as well, instead of just being an artist that can paint anybody's picture as well as a fantasized picture, and we just entertained by that part. I believe us as a culture need to get back to that. And when NWA came out, they wanted to report the street so much, and it was such a new movement that we stuck on this character. We can't break character for some reason. We just can't break that role play. And I think it's due time we do that. And because it's time for a next real sound, a next real music, a next real message in that music. So hopefully in this podcast we can cover that a little bit more in different ways. Our artist can come up with a next real message and without tarnishing his brand too much, but without getting him incarcerated at the same time. So, Ingvar, what you think is the one way an artist can avoid that?
I think it just has to be made very clear that it is a persona. You see that we were talking before about hip-hop is the only genre that experiences that, because with a metal band, most of the time they put on the costume and hey, they're just wearing that mask, they're just wearing that makeup, and they're gonna, they'll be buying gas next to you at the local Wawa and you wouldn't even know it. And now there are some like black metal bands in Sweden that like they actually will burn a church down, but that's them just overcommitting. Exactly. You will have those people who really do believe in the whatever, but anyways, for most of the time that is a persona. And sometimes they fluctuate and the persona grows with it. David Bowie is an example. He went through many different flavors.
But even if it's real, I think it should still be portrayed as a persona just to protect you. There's no real reason to say that this is real, especially if it's real. You should be the last person that want to convey it, even if you left those little crumbs.
You should write that song for someone else.
Exactly. You should tell that story to someone else. You know what I mean? So it's just so many different ways, fans and artists can prevent another situation like YSL and Young Thug, where artists has to go against an artist for their own freedom. Where they're saying, okay, I made this bit of money for a few years, but now I owe my life. I owe decades in prison, like living worse than I ever did before I even met you. And that the game is really going after Gunna over something like that. And they're not being compassionate about, okay, Young Thug was about that life, but why wasn't he smart enough to not do these things around his artists? Why does his artist know enough to get you locked up? Why'd you keep him that close in that world? As well as rap about it. You just piled up your own evidence against you that your money couldn't get you out. Your money couldn't afford a law team or lawyer team that could get you out. And now, the culture is trying to go for Gunna, a Crip versus a Blood. And you're saying that forget Crip versus Blood and your freedom, you snitched. And there's no remorse, no hope, no sympathy, no empathy for the position you was cornered in. For somebody that was just loose as fuck about doing secretive things. And when I say loose as fuck, that means you left crumbs that these detectives, these lawyers, these actual organizations committed and paid very well to find. And you made it very easy for their job, as well as get them promotions by making it a public hearing. That win for that firm, you just made them so much money, Young Thug. Whoever represented Gunna, you just made that firm a lot of money. Right, but whoever represented you, they took a big L publicly. And these are some ugly truths that I would like to, acknowledge Young Thug for being the sacrifice for our culture, that, we need to learn from these mistakes, because it don't gotta be a complete L. It could be a double L where it's a lesson learned. You understand? And when you lesson learned, that's when he could be like that, the poster child for like centuries to come on, not to do that in our culture. You know what I mean? He could be like a martyr. We could really turn this and flip this into a positive thing as an example on why 1%ers should watch what they say in the music. And 1%ers, I'm sure anybody that knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. But those are the extremists in the world. But the extremists need to, take a little bit more finesse and cover on what they doing when they leaving breadcrumbs. If you really want to finesse and play the game like that. But doing it blatantly out in the open and saying, fuck you, I got so much money, I can do what I do. And time and time again, whether it's movie or not, we see whether it's Italian mafia or not, drug cartel or not, somebody snitching. Exactly. Even when he got out of jail, got snitched on again. He escaped jail. So I want us to just, change the way we perceive our messages, our artists, and we could change this new movement where we are looking for the next real thing, but we ain't looking for the next real serial killer, the next real kingpin that can make a good song, and the next real 50 Cent where he survived 9 shots type of shit in order to make a Billboard song in hip-hop. So I challenge y'all as Next Round, as AB from Next Round, to change your message and be the next real music and the next real message in your music. Own your shit, and we'll see what the future holds for you. And hopefully it's something timeless and not something just for the times. So I'm gonna cut that short and see what my man ain't got to say about that before we send y'all to the next round.
I just think we need new topics. And I know there are some topics that are universal and will be till the end of time, like love and anger, not feeling understood. But we're tired of hearing about people getting money.
I'm tired of hearing what you spending it on. Like, that's so bad taste. Like, I don't know no other genre but us that do that. We actually, like, imagine Keanu Reeves telling you what he just, like, what designers clothes he was wearing, and how much what his shoe collection and jewelry collection look like. We just assume he's got things that's just not worthy to be around his neck. We just know he got money. So I want us to stop trying to work so hard, like Ingvar said, to talk about the money instead of just earning the money. Well, we're going to wrap it up for now, and we're going to let y'all know what is up in the next round. Hopefully y'all got a next real message for us, and hopefully y'all welcome us, and we can welcome you into the next real movement, okay? I'll catch y'all in the next round. Peace.